Still admitting people, so we'll get started in a minute or so. For those of you who I've just admitted into the meeting, I'm letting you know that we are recording the pre-proposal conference for this opportunity. And it will be available for later viewing on YouTube. So if you have an interest in seeing the pre-proposal conference again, reviewing it for information or other purposes, you can let me know by reaching out through Oracle messages, and I will share the link with you. Again, still admitting people to this opportunity. My name for the record is Elizabeth Ayana Johnson. I'm the contracting and procurement specialist for this opportunity. I'm glad there's so much interest in this opportunity.
Hi, guys.
Okay, good afternoon. So we haven't officially started yet. It looks like, okay, it looks like there are just a few more people that I'm admitting, and we will officially begin. Again, for those of you who were just admitted, my name's Elizabeth Ayana Johnson. I'm the contracting and procurement specialist for this opportunity. We are recording this pre-proposal conference. If you have an interest in seeing the recording, reach out, let me know, and I will be able to share the link with you via Oracle messages. So I'm hoping to start officially within the next minute, but I do want to admit all of the people who have an interest in the opportunity. So it looks like we've got a little over 50 people on this call. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and begin officially. This is the pre-proposal conference for RFP 185303, Denby Whittier Neighborhood Framework Study and Implementation Plan. Again, my name's Elizabeth Ayana Johnson. I'm the contracting and procurement specialist for this opportunity. And you can refer to me as the buyer. So in quotation marks, I'm the buyer for this opportunity. We want to welcome you to the pre-proposal conference. Again, we're very glad to know that there are so many of you who have an interest in this opportunity. We're going to find out who you are momentarily. Again, this is the opportunity for RFP 185303, the Denby Whittier Neighborhood Framework Study and Implementation Plan. So with that being said, I'm going to just give you a brief overview of the conference. There's something that I need to read verbatim. So I'm going to do that first. This call is being recorded. When you are asked to identify yourself, or if you're going to speak, we ask for you to state your name and the company or organization that you represent, all saying unmuted. Some of you are coming in muted. If we get background interference, then I'll just mute everybody and move forward from there. All potential respondents are encouraged to ask questions. You may enter them into the chat at any time, but that's not the only way that you can ask questions. So you can ask them verbally during the course of this pre-proposal conference. All verbal responses that representatives from the city provide today to your questions are unofficial. So they're unofficial until we document them in writing as an official response in the Oracle RFP 185303 supplier portal. So the way we will communicate during the proposal being out is via the Oracle supplier portal. If there are any of you who are not registered in the Oracle supplier portal yet, you still have that opportunity, because that will be the only way we will receive your proposal responses. We'll also ask you to submit any additional questions after this pre-proposal conference in the Oracle RFP 185303 supplier portal. Now, when you're in the portal, you will see some references to RFP, but when you are first entering the portal, all of our solicitations are known as negotiations. So you'll look for negotiation 185303 if you've not yet been in the portal to locate that. We will respond to all potential respondents via the Oracle RFP 185303 supplier portal. So I'm coming back to the first slide, and I'm going to share with you where on this slide it says supplier instructions. So if you are new to opportunities with the city, we have a helpful supplier instruction webpage that is available for you and anyone else who has an interest in opportunities with the city to find very helpful information. The information includes how to register and, very importantly, how to submit a bid, how to submit your proposal to an opportunity that you may have interest in. And so that webpage is www.detroitmi, all one word, .gov/supplier. So if you are looking for helpful information, that's the page to go to. There are videos on that page that you can watch. There are PDFs that will take you step by step through registration and how to bid processes. And there are other tidbits of helpful information there. How to update your supplier profile if you've had change in personnel. So just want to bring that to your attention. And so I'm now going to go back to the agenda. And so as we move forward, I'm going to introduce the young lady who's going to be responsible as the project lead for this procurement shortly, but not immediately. So what I'd like to do now is, it looks like there are about 60 of us on this call, and I think about 55 of you are other than city employees. So if you're with Teams, you can indicate that, but we would like to know for the record who's here. So I'm going to add, in addition to giving your name and the organization or firm or agency that you were with, would you also let us know whether or not your firm or agency is probably going to submit a response for this opportunity? We know sometimes some of you join us because you're looking to have collaboration or to be a subcontractor with another firm. So if you fall into any of those categories, it would be helpful for us to know. whether or not your firm is looking to bid or your firm is looking to partner. And when I say partner, subcontract, or be a subconsultant, lots of terminologies out there that many of you use and that we use here at the city. So we appreciate having an idea of who's on the call and what your reasons may be for being with us this afternoon. So if someone starts speaking at the same time as you, be courteous, somebody give way, and we would like to identify everyone who's on the call. So we have plenty of time to do that. All right, so I'm not going to call up names. I'll ask you to go right ahead and indicate who you are, the firm you represent, and whether you're looking to bid on this opportunity or to be a subconsultant, or if you're just here out of curiosity, you can let us know that too. All are welcome. Bernadette, I see your hand.
Good afternoon. I just wanted to introduce myself as being a representative of the Office of Contracting and Procurement. My name is Bernadette Walker, and I am the manager assisting Elizabeth on this project. Welcome, and I appreciate everyone attending today.
Thank you, Bernadette. Someone else? So let's see, city staff, if the rest of you will hold off in identifying yourselves, I'll get to you after we get all of the other attendees identified. So Katie Johnson, I see your hand is up. Go right ahead.
I am Katie Johnson, Managing Principal for AECOM's Detroit office. And I've got several of my colleagues on the call from our planning and community development team, including Ode Bottineau, Garrett Harper, David Esparza, John Foytik, and Denise Gardner. And we are looking to lead a proposal.
Okay, very good. Thank you very much. And oh, I see a familiar face. And I always mispronounce your name, your first name. So Ms. Basu, would you please introduce yourself?
Good afternoon, Elizabeth. So good to see you. I'm Sami Basu. I am with Lord Sargent from our Detroit office. I also have a few of our colleagues join this call, along with Stan Harvey, who is the principal of our urban design and planning team. And we intend to lead a team. So very interested in bidding for this. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you so much, and good to see you again. All right, I see Dorian Moore. See your hand is up.
Yes, hi. I'm Dorian Moore with Archive Design Studio, architects and urban designers, and we are leading and partnering with another firm on this project, and are putting together a team of subs for the different areas of the project.
Very good. Thank you very much. And Sylvia, I'm gonna let you pronounce your last name. I'm interested in the pronunciation.
Thank you, appreciate it. Sylvia Xiaomeng Li. I represent HRNA Advisors. So we are economic development real estate consulting firm, and looking to participate as potentially subcontractors on teams. And we've worked on prior framework plans before. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you very much for being with us. And let's see, I see Adrian Lopez. Oh, we can't hear you, Adrian.
Can you hear me now?
We can hear you now.
Okay, yeah, sorry about that. My name is Adrian Lopez. I'm with Adja Associates, and we're looking to identify some consultants. We're partnering for this opportunity with another office as well. I'll put my contact details in the chat.
Great, thank you very much. And Robin Crowder. Oh, I'm sorry. I skipped over someone. Brian?
Yeah, hi there. Brian Starznick from David Rubin Land Collective. I'm joined by my colleague Lindsay Tabor, and we are looking to lead a project.
Great. Thank you very much for being with us. And I see Robin Crowder.
Hi, I'm here representing Dover Colon Partners, a town planning urban design firm here in Coral Gables, Florida. We're here to submit the bid and also the possibility of being subcontractors, but primarily just to get more information on the RFP.
Very good. Thank you very much for being with us. And Joseph, is it Newbear?
There. It's Josh Neubauer, here from Urban Strategies. We're a planning and design firm. Here to learn more about the bid, and we intend to bid with the team. Thanks so much.
Great. Thank you very much for being with us. And let's see. Abdulas?
John Abdulos.
Go right ahead, John.
Yes. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, I'm with HCAS Architects, and we are here to listen and to hopefully provide a bid on the project.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Jennifer? Let's see. Schechter?
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Jennifer Schechter. I'm with Scape Landscape Architecture. I'm looking for information and potentially to join a team. We do have planning experience in Detroit. Thank you very much, everyone.
Great. Thank you for joining us. And let's see. Ujichi?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, you're a little low, but we can hear you.
Okay, great. Good afternoon. My name is Ujiji Williams. I'm with Gima Studio. We will be leading an effort to propose for this project. I'll just shout out my colleagues who are also on the call. We have Another World of Work, Studio Incognita, Busy LLC, amongst a couple other folks that we'll be bringing into the field. So thank you for the opportunity.
Great. Thank you very much for joining us. And Robert?
Hi, Robert Hoppenheim from Andropogan Associates. We're here to learn a little bit more about the project and potentially join a team as landscape architects.
Very good. Thank you very much. Tyler?
Hi, I'm Tyler Swanson. I'm an associate partner with Rogers Partners. I'm an architect and a landscape architect, and I'm joined by Rob Rogers and Josh Kaplan from our office, and we're looking to lead a team for this project.
Very good. And Eric Dreyer?
Hi there, Eric Dreyer with OHM Advisors. I'm a principal and lead our planning and landscape architecture group here in Detroit. We'll be partnering with a few firms and submitting a proposal. Thanks.
Very good. Very good. Thank you. Tricia DeMarco?
Tricia DeMarco, Spalding D. Decker. I have Shruti Nahar on the line with us. We're looking to submit a bid or partner with a team. So we provide streetscape mobility, community engagement. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And Danielle, is it Contour?
Yes. Hi, my name is Danielle Contour. I am here with my colleague Mary Burkholder. We work at a DBE MBE urban economics firm called BAE Urban Economics.
And are you looking to submit a proposal for this response?
Yes, I apologize. Yes, we are looking to be a subcontractor for this.
Okay, thank you very much. And Alan? Let's see, I'm not able to see less.
Hey, Elizabeth,
Alan?
I'm here.
Oh, there you are, Alan. Okay, go right ahead.
Alan Penniman with Agency Landscape and Planning. We are a landscape architecture and planning firm based out of Boston, Mass. I know many of you from my previous role with the city of Detroit. We're going to be submitting as a sub-consultant on this project. Thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you. And Joel Howraney?
Hi, Joel Harani Harris with Public Sector Consultants. We're a public policy consulting firm. Really just here to listen, but also open to some partnerships in the sustainability and climate space, as well as the economic development space. We have a pretty deep bench, about 70 people in different subject matter expertise areas. So open to partnership. Thank you.
Thank you. And Robin, is it Ganser?
Yeah, good morning. Robin Ganser, partner with Cohen and Partners in Minneapolis. Mostly here to listen and learn a bit more about the opportunity. But if we do submit, we'd be looking to lead a team. And it's great to meet you all.
Very good. Thank you very much for being with us. Audra?
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Audra Carson with Izzy LLC. I will be part of the team with GMA Studios and other work to present a bid for this RFP. Thank you, everyone.
Great. Thank you very much. And Maggie?
Hi, everybody. I'm Maggie Haight from BJH Advisors. We do real estate and economic development consulting. We've worked in Detroit in the past, financial modeling for redevelopment. And we are going to be on a team with OGG and others, but also nice to see some familiar faces. Hi, Sylvia. And AECOM team.
Okay, very good. Thank you for being with us. And Jen? Is it Jen Main?
Yep. Hi. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can.
All right. I'm traveling, so I'm Jen Main of Studio Incognita, and we are a wayfinding signage, environmental design, placemaking firm. We'll be submitting as a sub-consultant with GMA Studio, and we do have framework experience. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. And Elspeth?
Hopefully my mic works. Hi, I'm Elspeth Holland from the RK Ingles Group. We're here to gain information and listen in, and if joining a team, would likely join as a sub-consultant.
Very good. Thank you very much. And Georgine Theodore?
Hello. Good afternoon. Georgine Theodore from Interborough Partners, and we intend to bid on this project as a lead. Nice to see you, Elizabeth. Thank you.
To see you too. Thank you. And Tony Henry?
Hello, everyone. Tony Henry with the Detroit Collaborative Design Center and partnering already with the team.
Great. Good to have you with us. And Mitzi?
Great day, everyone. My name is Mitzi Rudock, and with BCA 3 consulting firm, and we are looking to submit a bid.
Very good. Thank you very much for being with us. And Laura? Is it, I can't see all of the, Laura Walker. You're unmute, Laura. Let's see. Are you able to unmute? Gee, for some reason, I'm not able to unmute you.
I think she's trying to say that she can't unmute herself.
Yes, that's what I've discerned. So Laura Walker, if you will put your information in the chat, that will be great. Let's see. And Andrew Wall?
Yeah, hi, Andrew Wald, Another World Planning and Design, joining a team as a sub-consultant.
Okay, very good. Very good. So that looks like we have entertained all the hands, and go over to chat. Okay, all right, very good. Well, listen, we appreciate all of you being with us this afternoon. Thank you so much for your interest. And let's see, once looking to see it. So Laura, I was looking to see if you had put anything in the chat yet. Yes, okay. So Laura, your firm is Other Work? Okay, very good. And is your firm looking to submit a bid or to be a sub-consultant? So if you're looking to submit a bid, would you nod your head in the firm? Okay, you want to be a sub-consultant? Okay, all right, very good. Okay, very good. Thank you very much. All right, well, thank you again, everyone, for your participation this afternoon. And I know I shared a statement with you earlier, so I'm just going to move to our procurement timeline overview. And let me say, the procurement timeline for us includes from the publication of the opportunity through the contracting of the opportunities. That's a long time for procurement. So I mention that because during procurement, we ask potential respondents, even if you may be on another contract with the city, to not engage the planning and development department staff about this particular opportunity. Okay, so if you're doing other work that you're on contract for, obviously you have to interact with them and share the information as is pertinent to the opportunity that you're involved with. But we ask you to not ask or try to engage the planning and development personnel who may not be directly aligned with this project if you're looking to find out information. So I need to be your focal point for any inquiries regarding this particular project once we conclude the pre-proposal conference. So if you have questions that are germane for the planning and department to respond to, I will see that they get those questions. If you have questions that it's appropriate for the Office of Contracting and Procurement to respond to, then I will do so accordingly. And we will post those questions. So the questions that may come in, and we've received none to date. But if, as you move through the process of putting your proposal response together and something comes up, within your team and you really need to know, we ask you to get your questions to us before December the 11th. So if you have questions when this pre-proposal conference is over and we see your questions, we will provide a response for those questions by next week. Okay, so we won't wait until December the 11th to give you a response to your questions. We're just letting you know that the last date for you to submit questions regarding this opportunity will be December the 11th. And we will post those questions and answers by December the 13th. Proposals are due December the 17th by 2 p.m. So I always encourage, especially new bidders to the city process, allow yourself enough time to be able to get all of your response uploaded into the Oracle supplier portal. It will cut you off, even if you're in the process of uploading. And you know, just have a few more items you think to upload. When 2 o'clock hits, the electronic door closes, and we're not able to open that door for you. So I encourage everyone to get your responses in before, if possible, before December the 17th. So just noting that. If you're new again to the city and you've never submitted an opportunity, we have online virtual training classes. We call them workshops. They last about 30 minutes, and we have one on how to submit a bid. So if you need to take advantage of that, we encourage you to do that in advance. So we're closed for the holidays tomorrow and Friday. We will all be back in our offices starting Monday. And in the RFP that we sent out, I believe I put a tentative schedule of when those workshops occur. But you're welcome to go to our website, as I had indicated at the beginning of this session, and look in your leisure. So if you're looking for some over the holiday reading to do, or you decide that you want to look at some of our videos, you're welcome to do so. They're up there 24/7 on the city's website. In terms of the project work schedule, everyone always wants to know when will the start date be for this project? Well, the Planning and Development Department, and they will in their presentation give you an idea of what their project timelines are. Until the City Council receives a contract and approves that actual contract, we cannot give you an exact date. We can approximate and give you an estimate, and depending upon how many questions the City Council members may have, sometimes the contracts are with them for a couple of weeks or longer before they make a decision. So once City Council approves the contract, and we get it executed, that will be a notification of a soon date, to begin the project. But we've incorporated a new aspect this year in our Office of Contracting, and that is that we will be a part of the kickoff launch for a contract for this particular project. And so we will coordinate dates and times from whoever the awarded contractor is with the Planning and Development Department, and we will go over the expectations as well as the responsibilities for all parties during that kickoff launch meeting. So that is now an incorporated regular part of opportunities with the city of Detroit. A launch meeting where questions may be asked about particular expectations. So with that being said, I'm now going to ask for our City of Detroit staff who have not yet introduced themselves to unmute yourselves and introduce yourself to the group assembled here this afternoon. And then Cheryl, I will ask you to be last because you'll then be able to go right into your presentation. So for the others with the city who are on this call, if you will introduce yourselves, we'd appreciate that.
I can go. My name is Dara Oburn. I am the Deputy Director of the Planning and Development Department.
Thank you, Dara. Good to see you.
Good afternoon, Khalil Lagan, East Region Director with the Planning and Development Department.
Good to have you with us, Khalil.
Good afternoon. Brennan Cagney with the City of Detroit Planning and Development Department East Region.
Thank you very much, Brendan.
Good afternoon. I'm Melanie Backey, another PDD planner. I actually represent the Central Region.
Thank you very much, Melanie. And Sherelle, I will let you introduce yourself and move forward with your presentation.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Sherelle Streeter. I am a planner 3 for the City of Detroit's Planning and Development Department's East Region. And for context, the East Region represents Districts 3 and 4. So I'm going to go over and share my screen and provide you all with a bit more context around the neighborhood framework plan area, as well as some high-level overview of things that are in the scope, as well as some information around community engagement. So I'll do that now. And let me know when you all are able to see this.
We can see your screen.
Awesome. I saw the thumbs up. Okay, I'm gonna go on presentation mode. Okay, so thank you all for expressing your interest in the Denby Whittier Neighborhood Framework Plan RFP, which is RFP 185303. Again, my name is Sherelle Streeter, and I am the project lead for the Neighborhood Framework Plan. Again, my plan is to just walk over an overview of the neighborhood or the plan area, in addition to provide some high-level overview of the scope, as well as things that we would like to be a part of the community engagement efforts for this plan. So I'll go to the next. So the Denby Whittier is approximately 2.3 square mile plan area located on Detroit's east side. It is bounded by the Kingsville to the north, I-90, Hayes and Harper to the south, I-94 and Harper to the east, and Kelly Road to the west. The plan area consists of 4 neighborhoods. Those include Moross Meringue, Denby, Yorkshire Woods, and Otter Drive and Hayes. As of based on the 2020 census, there are approximately 16,000 people located within this plan area. So there are several themes that we have derived from pre-planning engagement for the Denby Whittier Neighborhood Framework Plan. Those include joy, healing, connectivity, and healthy ecosystems. These were based off of community input that we received during pre-plan engagement. So we heard things as it pertains to joy around community celebration, seasonal decorations along the corridors, art, murals, and street art for neighborhood placemaking. In addition, when it comes to healing, we heard things around relationship building, holding each other, both from the city and the community organization accountable, and mending relationships along those lines. In addition to that, we heard things around connectivity. So people expressed, express opportunities to identify, ways to make intersections and streets safer, identifying opportunities for traffic calming, and then lastly, healthy ecosystems. We heard things around climate mitigation. One of the things that this area experiences is increased frequency of floods, so there can be flood mitigation, understanding tree health and tree coverage opportunities, things around energy efficiency and food access. So we wanted to make sure that we respect the input we received during the pre-planning engagement and throughout the planning process that we will be conducting for the Denby Whittier Neighborhood Framework Plan. We want to see and identify ways that we can weave these themes throughout that process. So next, I will walk through just the neighborhood framework plan pillars or categories. They include four. The first two are housing and neighborhood stabilization and commercial and economic development. For housing and neighborhood stabilization, the plan will look to explore opportunities for publicly owned vacant land and buildings. So this can include opportunities for how to market these buildings and land to potential home buyers or investors, and or any opportunities for adaptive reuse. In addition, we want to conduct a full housing market study or analysis that will look at things such as occupancy rates, tenure, and the like. It will also explore opportunities for mixed use and multi-family development. As it pertains to commercial and economic development, we are that will primarily include a commercial corridor strategy. This strategy will look to identify micro districts, and micro districts are active commercial and corridors and nodes that may need some additional investment and support. In addition to that, we will look for the strategy to identify opportunities to strengthen business mix along the micro districts and corridors within the plan area, and then also a disposition strategy for commercial buildings owned by the city. So the other two pillars are environment and the public realm, and streetscapes and mobility. As it pertains to the environment and the public realm, we will look for this plan to explore opportunities for connectivity. So essentially, ways that we can increase connectivity throughout each of the neighborhoods and to each of the neighborhoods, as well as to existing parks and public spaces. We'd also look to explore opportunities for placemaking, so things that could potentially add to the neighborhoods or areas' existing neighborhood culture and brand, as well as opportunities for climate mitigation. So, as I mentioned earlier, this area experiences increased floods, so opportunities for flood mitigation, tree canopy, increasing tree canopy coverage, and tree health. Currently, there are 3 parks within the plan area. They include Brookins, Skinner, and Sasser. So the plan would not necessarily look for identifying a full new park, but potentially an opportunity for a concept for a neighborhood park to fill in existing gap for park access. And then lastly, under the environment and the public realm pillar, we would look to having a design concept come out of the framework plan for Kelly Plaza. And Kelly Plaza is a plaza located on the corner of Kelly and Houston Whittier. And we want to explore opportunities of how you could potentially activate the space and improve pedestrian connectivity. And then lastly, our last pillar is streetscapes and mobility. This pillar or category of the framework plan will look to explore opportunities for pedestrian, bicyclists, and shared micromobility. So that includes e-scooter share, bike share improvements. It will also look to identify one corridor microdistrict that can have a streetscape design alternative that would obviously be crafted with the expertise that comes out of planning analysis, but also along with community organizations, community input, and then other city departments, such as the Department of Public Works. So outside of just kind of what we we would like to see coming out of the framework plan. I did want to just providing high level overview of what community engagement is currently planned to look like. So there will be 4 community meetings that will happen throughout the entire planning process. And I know Elizabeth spoke to a timeline, and one of the 4 community meetings will obviously be the kickoff meeting, which we are expecting to happen around late spring, early summer. We don't have a defined date, but then from there on, this will be the whole planning process will be approximately 18 months. In addition to community meetings, we are looking to host focus groups that really speak to the different pillars that we've identified, and really getting a more fine-grained input from community residents from specific groups. So these focus groups will be, seniors, people with disabilities, families, so that can include youth, women, faith-based organizations, and people who use alternative modes of transportation / transit users. In addition, as a part of our engagement process, the city will be participating in, department meetings. So community meetings hosted by some of our peer departments like the Housing and Revitalization Department, Department of Neighborhoods, Department of Public Works, and the General Services Department. For these meetings, for the prospective consultant, these will be meetings that a consultant would definitely support the city on, but they won't have to potentially attend all of them. Support will be, required as needed. In addition to that, weekly office hours will be held at various locations so that we can consistently, get community input, answer any questions that may not have been answered in the other engagement opportunities that we have. And then any opportunities for research tabling at any, department meetings, community meetings, but also any meetings that community organizations held within the planned area. We want to make sure that we take advantage of that to make sure that we are getting as much of a robust community input as possible. And then lastly, and just to mention, with similar to the department meetings, the prospective consultant will be for weekly office hours and research tabling, would again be supporting the city and participating as needed. And and then the last thing is the community partnership. The community partnership is looking to have up to 4 community partners. So these will be hyper-local community organizations who have roots within the planned area, representing all 4 of the neighborhoods within the planned area, that will help support our outreach and extend the amount of people that we can reach during the planning process. So we will look for them to really help with that engagement, so that we're making sure that everybody's voice and opinions and concerns are elevated throughout the planning process and also reflective in the plan. So with that being said, that is just the high level overview that I wanted to be able to provide to you all. I will hand it back over to Elizabeth to take us to our next steps. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Appreciate that, Sherelle. So let's see whether or not there are any questions or comments from our participants this afternoon. So I'm going to look in the chat, but you don't have to. I posted in the chat. All right, so one of the questions in the chat is, will the deck be made available? And yes, we will post the slide deck to the Oracle Supplier Portal messages for this RFP. Another question is there an identified budget for this effort? Yes, we always have a budget. Are we going to share it with you? No, well, you're not. But we appreciate the question. Okay, those are all the questions that I'm seeing in the chat. So, Dorian, I see your hand is up. Go right ahead.
Thank you. My question is, could you elaborate a little bit more on how the payments are made to the community organizations that are going to be helping with the canvassing and all of the other things that are going to happen from an engagement standpoint? Does that go through the consultants? Is that handled by the city? Through the consultants? How does that work?
Yes, that will be handled through the consultants.
Okay, so we would be in charge of paying them, but they won't be our employees. They'll be considered additional consultants to the team. I'm trying to see exactly how that works from a logistical standpoint.
Yeah, I know we've previously done this, and I don't know if Khalil, if you're on, but essentially we will be relying on the consultants to kind of handle the payment of the community partners through an existing process. But I will ask Khalil if she could potentially add any additional information to that.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, so how we have executed this in the past is that we've had an MOU. The consultant team would form an MOU with the engagement partner, and it would spell out all of the tasks that would be required for the stipend, and they would issue that stipend. So they are not, whatever that process is for you internally, you're free to execute that as you see fit, but we have an MOU template that we've used before that we can share with the consultant team that can, carry out those deliverables that would be expected and the stipend that's agreed upon.
Okay, thanks for the clarification.
All right, thank you for that question, Dorian. And Sylvia, I see your hand is up.
Yeah, thank you. I wonder whether the planning team could share a little bit more about the prior planning work and engagement that have led to sort of the framework that we saw, and then sort of like a little bit of background on the impetus of this RFP and selection of this neighborhood.
Yeah, I can kick this off, and there's any additional input from the team, feel free to add. So prior engagement was approximately in 2023. There was a meeting held, and we received community input based on the different pillars that we outlined, understanding what are those priorities regarding like streetscapes around vacancies, and we collected that input that helped and that input helped shaped how we went about developing the scope of work. So a lot of the information and community input that we received during that public meeting is reflected in the scope of work. In addition, the city also has strong relationships to different organizations and residents within the neighborhood. So any other information was pulled from those, whether they were formal or informal conversations. That I'll leave that at that. I don't know if there's any additional information that Khalil you want to add, but that is kind of the short of the pre-engagement that took place prior to us releasing the scope of work. And again, that was approximately in 2020, a year ago in 2023.
Okay. That answers your question, Sylvia?
Yeah, thank you so much.
Okay, great. Katie?
Yeah, this is a bit of an open-ended question, but I was hoping you could share a little bit of your perspective on implementation planning expectations, given that you have a history of many framework plans and a lot of different grant and other types of funding sources. Any particular expectations, either from lessons learned or certain funding strategies you might be anticipating ahead of time for this neighborhood?
Just to, can you maybe reframe that a bit? So just to I have my brain going to one way, but I don't want to misanswer this question. So
any answer works. The RFP is called Neighborhood Framework Plan and Implementation Plan. I just would like to tease out that implementation expectations so that we can, craft our proposals appropriately.
Yeah, no, definitely understood. Apologies. So the thought process here is to definitely have some implementation, so recommendations to come out of the plan. What we have looked toward and what has been in some of the plans, there are like near-term recommendations as something that's, in immediate, maybe 0 to 3 to 5 years. Then you have intermediate, potentially 5 to 10. I'll just do that there. And then you have long-term plans that are a bit, 10-year plus. So I think, so that's kind of how we've approached previous plans, especially, a plan that I've personally worked on. And for this plan, I think it will be something similar to have those plans, those implementation plans that are kind of near term, intermediate, and long term. I think one of the things that I additionally wanted to call out is when we think about implementation, thinking about also, those tactical design and urban design opportunities, I think will definitely be helpful for this plan.
Great, thank you.
Great, thank you very much, Katie. Alan?
Yeah, it's a good timing. I actually also had a question about implementation. I was wondering how this relates to the recent launch of SNF Round 3, and particularly if Denby Whittier is an SNF 3 neighborhood. Yeah, that's my question. Thank you.
No, it's not an SNF neighborhood. And Dara, I saw you come off mute, so I'll also hand it over to you.
Yeah, I was just going to add, it's not an SNF3 and there isn't necessarily allocated funding for implementation. So in addition to the timing that Cheryl mentioned in the implementation plan, it is helpful to think about not just the timing, but that timing might be related to funding availability or funding opportunities. So just wanted to put that out there.
Thank you very much, Alan and Dara. And let's see. Okay, Dorian, you put your hand down. All right. Any other questions, comments, concerns? Okay, Dorian, I see your hand is back up. Go right ahead.
Yes, I meant to put it up before. So the question about funding. So is this totally a city-funded project? Yeah, I'm asking because if we have to interact with the state or some other organization, what kind of paperwork that might lead to as far as documenting things for invoicing and those situations?
Great question. Yes, this is a city-funded project. This isn't, there aren't any other organizations.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Dorian. And Andrew?
Yeah, just asking about the concept design for Kelly Plaza and the potential new park, and wondering whether Kelly Plaza remains publicly owned property. Is that kind of in the domain of GSD or Public Works, or is that to be RFP'd and bid out to a private developer or some other designer for implementation?
So the plaza would fall under the Department of Public Works. As far as when you think about implementation of the concept, I don't have that information of what that would be. My assumption that it would, I don't want, actually, I won't make an assumption. But yeah, I don't know what the next steps be, but currently it is a publicly owned plaza and it will remain a publicly owned plaza, from my understanding. And it's under the Department of Public Works.
And I would just add that it's going to be very conceptual because, to your point, whether it's DPW or GSD is going to do just like we do with parks, where we might come up with a conceptual design, but then it'll go through a full design process through the implementing department. So not at the construction level design, just very conceptual. What are the design priorities of the community? But nothing final or, construction level.
Got it. Thank you. So are there any projects in this framework that would potentially require like an investment memo or some sort of private RFP process at the end of the framework?
No, not at this time.
No, don't anticipate that.
Okay. Yeah, thank you.
Joel?
Hi,
Thank you, Andrew.
could you talk briefly about the role of consultant staff in the engagement versus PDD staff and the different roles that you see for those two different groups of folks? Thanks.
Yeah, so when it comes to engagement, we will be looking for the consultant to definitely support the city in that process. The city will be leading all of the engagement efforts. But when it comes to things as potentially, obviously, we want to make sure that you all are introduced to the community so they know who is working alongside the city. But we will work collaboratively on the different marketing collaterals and work products. We're leaning on the consultant to assist with the, identifying locations and if there is any, if we have to reserve use any funding to reserve the space, going through the consulting process with that. But when it comes to the engagement, we definitely, the city will be leading and looking to the consultant to be a supporter on that. Does that answer your question, Joel?
Thank you.
I think I read your lips.
Okay, great. Thank you, Joel. And Adrian?
Hi, yes, my question is tied to Andrew's as it relates to the new conceptual public park. You started touching on it on the infill strategy, but I was wondering if you can elaborate on the expectations on the design and also the implementation, assuming that it's also similar to the plaza where it would follow a subsequent step for implementation, drawings, etc.
Yeah, similar to what Dara explained around the Kelly Plaza, this will be take a similar approach when it comes to implementation. What we would just be looking for is a very high level concept of what a potential park could look like. So we've had conversations with the General Services Department, and they are looking for opportunities to potentially add, one more park to the Outer Drives Hayes area. There isn't a location that has been identified, but what they're looking for and what we're looking for as a part of this framework planning process is just in high level, design, a concept, of what this could potentially look like. And then when it comes to implementation, it will follow a similar process to what Dar outlined around Kelly Plaza.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. So, Andrew, is your hand up for another question? Okay. All right. Any other questions for our planning team? Okay. Thank you very much for those questions. If others come up, remember that you were using Oracle messages. I just wanted to take a moment to go over the key response documents that we're looking for you to include in your proposal response. So we have the RFP, which you've looked at, but we also want to make certain that you look at important attachments. And so one of the attachments that we need you to pay attention to and complete is attachment A, respondent questionnaire. In this document, you will identify who your key contact person is, and if you are going to be using sub-consultants, there is a portion of this document where you will identify who those sub-consultants are. So the space looks small, but it expands. So however much space you need. The other element that we are looking at on this particular attachment is for you to provide us with an idea of what your capacity is. So if you're already contracted with the City of Detroit on other opportunities, we need to know that you have a team that is going to be dedicated for this project. So we need to know what your capacity is, who your key personnel are. And so please don't gloss over this portion of the attachment A and omit, identifying a response. We are looking for you to include resumes for each of your key personnel, indicate for us the quantity of employees that are going to be dedicated and their experience. Also, we want to know how many of your projected employees might be Detroit residents who are going to work on this project. So that is what we're asking you to include as a part of your responding to attachment A. And a lot of you are very creative in how you put your responses together, and that's fine. You sometimes submit responses that incorporate attachment A, attachment B. However creatively you address that, that's fine with us, as long as we know that you have addressed the elements that we're looking for. Attachment B, this is your proposal introduction and your solution approach to this particular opportunity that we're asking you to provide your firm's address. So be sure to include your proposal introduction, how you're looking at approaching this, and what your proposed solution might be for this opportunity. We want you to include a project timeline, schedule, and if there is going to be data information that is going to be stored, we have identified in the professional service contract that is attachment E for this opportunity. We've indicated in that particular contract template what our expectations are in terms of retaining data. But if there are other elements of this opportunity that you want to elaborate on relating to a technical approach, we want you to be sure to include that in your response. Then we have attachment C. Attachment C is your pricing, your cost proposal. Now, I always ask and will ask, would you please include your cost proposal as a separate document? So if you incorporate all the others, that would be fine. Although I prefer if your attachment C cost proposal and your attachment D, which I'm going to get to in a moment, that those be separate documents, because we also ask for you to provide 3 years of financial information. But let me get back to attachment C. So in your attachment C, please be certain to include your fee schedule So your fee schedule for whoever is the prime and fee schedules for your sub-consultants. And we're asking for a project line item budget so that we can see how you cost this out. So those are the elements that we're looking at for your cost proposal. Then I'm going to move this over for attachment D. Attachment D forms, affidavits, and our documentation checklist. So we want to see your certificate of authority. We want to know who's authorized to be submitting this document on behalf of your organization. And we want to have an idea of who will be responsible for signing a contract if your firm is represented for this, recommended for this opportunity. The amendment form, if during the course of this RFP being out, if there is any need for us to do an amendment of sort, you need to provide a response in Oracle, and then we ask you to document it on this form that you read whatever got amended. And if we do an amendment, then we will typically label that as a rider. And so if I were to amend this in terms of, let's say time, instead of it coming in on December 17th, that we decide to change a date, then that would be rider D, and it would be to extend the time. So unless we have some elements of that sort, the amendment form would not have to be signed in this packet if there are no amendments to the RFP. The conflict of interest and disclosure form, we expect you to complete that, submit that. Debarment and suspensions, we want your response to that. The consolidated affidavits actually is on condition of award, but if you already have a completed consolidated affidavit for your firm, then why not go ahead and submit it with this opportunity? If you are recommended for award, that saves time. Let's see. The non-collusion affidavit, we want you to be certain to include that. The other documentation that is on here that is condition of award upon recommendation would be you including a sample employment form. We ask for the sample employment form because our city ordinances do not allow for applications that we are contracting with vendors on to include, have you ever been convicted of a misdemeanor or a felony or things of that sort? You may ask those questions of potential employees in your interviews, but we don't want that to be on the employment applications for vendors or suppliers that we contract with. And so if you have it included there, we will ask you to remove it if you are recommended for award. The income and revenue tax clearance, in order to do business with the city of Detroit, you must have a city clearance. The city clearance application is a one-step process. When you apply for a city clearance with the city of Detroit, you're also indicating that you are prepared to receive clearance from the state of Michigan. So if you do work in other parts of the state, make certain that your income tax filings are up to date. And if you do work with the city, make certain likewise. And in that way, you are able to look for a speedy recommendation from our Office of Treasury Clearance office regarding a city clearance. If you have anything outstanding, we suggest that you look and address that now. If you've not applied for the city clearance, you have plenty of time to do so. It can take anywhere from 2 to 3 weeks for a clearance to be processed. If you have anything that is outstanding with the city or state, then that may take a longer period of time. So today is the 27th of November. Proposals are due the 17th. If you get recommended for award and you already have put your process in motion to get a city clearance, you save yourself time and us time also on the back end. And even if you're not selected for this opportunity, but you're looking for other opportunities with the city, it's just a great thing to go ahead and do. For us, we do not charge a fee. We in order to process the clearance. But if you have outstanding balances through any of our city departments, if you have a location that you own and you've had a fire marshal come in and do an inspection and you haven't gotten around yet to paying that bill, that would be something that would delay you receiving a city clearance. So we ask that our supply base who want to be actively engaged in opportunities for city try to do that and then keep it up to date. It's an annual documentation. Same with the consolidated affidavits. Those are annual expectations that we have with the city. Then I'll skip down just for a moment. The system of awards management. This is not federally funded. However, the Department of Justice asked the city of Detroit whether we have federally funded opportunities or not, that we be mindful of suppliers who may have run into a little bit of trouble here or there. And if those suppliers are on a list indicating that they have had challenges that would suggest that they not be an appropriate contract awardee with the city, then we would need to know that. And then, as I'd mentioned earlier, debarments or suspensions that might fall into those categories. So acknowledging that you have had a debarment or suspension, that's a plus, as long as it's not currently still inactive. So we don't hold that against you if that's something that occurred and you dealt with it and it's no longer an issue. The 3 years of financial information, we want to know that we are engaged in looking at responses from firms that are financially sound. And so for that reason, since you usually include that with this particular document, that was why I was suggesting that your attachment D be a separate attachment from your A, your attachment B, and your attachment C as separate C attachment. So we want potentially to see attachment C and D as separate documents. And separate documents. So don't even put those together in a PDF. Just keep them separate. All right. So I've quickly shared that information with you. Are there any questions? Oh, one thing I didn't share with you was attachment D. Attachment D is I mentioned it earlier in the conference. If you have contract exception language, that is our professional service contract, we want you to submit a redlined copy of what that language is that you would like us to consider. And then if you're recommended for award, we will share that information with our city's law department to see whether it is something we can entertain. There's some language of that language exceptions that you may suggest that we don't need to take to our law department, but we'll make that determination. So with that being said, Mitzi, I see your hand is up. Go right ahead.
Thank you for everything and being clear. I have a quick question in regards to the 3-year financials. Is that
Yes.
supposed to be in bank statement, tax returns, or what are you looking for?
Okay, so if you have a statement of cash flows or balance sheet, we would accept that if you're a relatively new firm. Does that answer that question? You may not have a full kit, maybe you haven't, maybe you're only getting your first year audit or your second year, audit.
You said statement of cash flow, and then you named one other document.
I'm sorry, a balance sheet.
A balance sheet. Okay.
Yeah, we would like to at least see a balance sheet or statement of cash flow.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Other questions, comments? Okay, I'm not seeing any hands up. And so we apologize that we went a little longer, but we appreciate your questions. And again, we appreciated all of you joining us this afternoon. So if there are no immediate questions or comments, again, thank you very much for your participation. If you have questions that come up, let me ask those of you who are still on the call, is there anyone who is not yet registered in Oracle? From the names of some of your firms, I know that many of you are in our Oracle system. Okay, so I'm seeing nods of heads. That's a good thing. All right, great. Well, then let me say that we are very much looking forward to receiving your proposal responses. We will encourage you again to get them in if you're able before December 17th, but don't wait until 1 o'clock on December 17th to start uploading. So depending upon your internet connections, your browsers, et cetera, it may take longer than you think. So know that you can begin uploading some of your required documents. For us, we want to see the information in at least 4 of those attachments. If you don't have any redlining for attachment E, the professional service contract, then we'll look to receive your proposal response incorporating those 4 attachments that I had mentioned. Mitzi, question, comment?
I'm sorry, one other quick question. I know you all said that the PowerPoint would be available, but will this recording be available too, or no?
Yes, the recording will be available. Thank you for asking that. Once this is over, I will be sending this to our e-procurement team so they can get it ready and put it on YouTube. And once they send me the link, I will post the link in the Oracle messages of this RFP. And before close of business today, I will be uploading the pre-proposal conference agenda and the slide deck that Sherelle shared with us. Any other questions or comments? Okay, very good. Well, thank you very much. I see happy Thanksgivings in the chat. So thank you everyone for being with us. Stay safe. And again, we're excited about receiving your proposal responses. Take care and have a good rest of your day.
Thank you. You too.
Thanks, everyone.
Happy
Happy
holidays,
Thanksgiving.
everyone.
Take care.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.